Okay, here we're showing that we've got our tape, copper foil tape that is, taped down every 2 inches. You'll notice that the blades are essentially 2 foot, 24 inches, and I've got all the way down here to about 35 inches of tape. This extra down here, we'll use that for doing our loops over the front edge of the blade, also for wiring around the battery and the charge harness. Alright, being that I'm human, I end up cutting a third strip. When I cut this first one, it was just a little bit off on the bias of being down the center line. So, you know, now we got an extra one to work with for other things. Other than showing you an alternative use for a refrigerator, what I want to show you here is I've kept these pieces of copper foil or copper tape, whatever we want to call them, as pairs. So this is one piece that's been split, here's another piece. When I laid the long pieces up on the blades, I kept them matched, so each pair, so this goes on one blade, this goes on the other blade. The idea being the mass of the tape as a whole is going to be equal, even though when I've split them, as we can see right here, this one's not exactly equal. So there's a little more on the top on that blade than on the bottom. Over here, I actually did the same thing. I actually put the wider piece on top, the narrower piece on the bottom. So, and then here's the piece that got set aside. I'm going to show you the use of the popsicle stick. The tape has been very lightly put onto the blade in position. I've gone back through with my calipers and checked the relative location. I'm about 19 millimeter off the leading edge to the back of the copper on the tire length, so it's close enough for racing, so to speak. So I'm going to take my popsicle stick, and this has actually got a rounded side to it, and I'm going to just take this and rub it in. Doing this is helping to adhere copper to the blade. Now, out here at the end and back here at the root, I'm going to end up cutting these pieces off once I get everything laid up, so I'll leave them in place at the time being, but knowing that they're not exactly straight at these points, and they will get cut off. One thing to note here when you're using your popsicle stick to help press this down, I always start from the center and work my way towards the ends. As you do that, if you have any extra, as I did in this case, you can see where this is lifted up. Instead of just creasing that down, what I end up doing is I'm going to lift this from the end of the blade and pick the tape up and lay it back down again. So just a technique. Once again, like I said, we don't use it out at the tip, it's extra length for a reason. And there's a spot where it had all the excess.